Okay, shalom, my brothers, sisters, and friends. I was going to share with you guys just a little quick message today before the day runs out. And it should be very short actually, but I hope that it would actually, bless someone or, you know, revive someone. It's always good to be refreshed by the word of the Most High Power. So real quick, it's probably something you've heard before or maybe hear every day, but it's good to sometimes really think on the words that you hear from the Most High, and really that's why it's the Bible would instruct you to meditate in His word, like the psalmist says. And so let's read from Hebrews 3 verse 15 would say, as has just been said today, if you hear His voice, do not harden your hearts, as you did in the rebellion. Alright, so again, like I said, you've probably heard that before. Today, if you hear the voice of the Most High, if you hear the words of the Most High, do not harden your heart. So let's talk a little bit about that. You hear this every day, and you hear it all the time, and it's easy to just think that if you hear the voice of the Lord, just take it in, accept it, or whatever. But if you look deep, let me ask you a question to start with. Are you resisting the word of the Most High? Or let me put it another way. Maybe not you. Maybe it's not something you're actively doing, but do you find yourself either consciously or unconsciously resisting the word of the Most High? Do you find that yourself or your flesh or your consciousness is just sometimes, or when it comes to certain things, or when you find yourself in a certain place, you want to act differently, you're resistant to the word of the Most High? If this is so, then you need to examine your life. If this is not so, then that's very good. You need to keep doing that. You need to keep going on in that obedience, because the thing is, it comes down to complete submission when it comes to the Most High. And this is the thing with so many of us today who follow Christ. And you know what? I think that at every point in each and every one of our lives, we have some sort of resistance to the Most High, or to the word of the Most High, or to the commands of Christ. Because when you come, especially when you just come out of the world and you give your life to Christ, your flesh still craves certain things, and that's why Christ would tell you to you have to die to the flesh. It's a daily process too. You have to die daily to the flesh. That's how you live. When you come to Christ, that's how you overcome. But so most of us, I think maybe everyone, at one point in time, you find yourself resisting the word of the Most High. And again, it's not necessarily in every area of your life. It may be just some part of it. It may be that you accept certain things, you obey certain things from the Most High, but you want to keep some other things. You want to keep some other habits that you had when you weren't serving the Most High. You want to keep some, I don't know, a way of dressing, some ritual that you do, something. I don't know. You would know better. But the word is, if you hear the word of the Most High, do not harden your heart. Let not your heart be hardened. Let's examine that statement. So do not allow your heart to be hardened. If you study chemistry or physics or biology, heck, if you don't even study anything, if you observe nature, you know that for something to become hardened, it's affected by an outside force out of that thing. Okay, for something to become hardened, there has to be a change in, for water to become hardened to form ice, there has to be a change in temperature. Same thing. If you keep There are certain foods that if you leave outside, out of the, if you leave certain foods outside, they become hard, and you get the point. Something becoming hardened or becoming hard is caused by an outside force. Something influences it to become hard. Something coerces it to become hard. It doesn't just become hard in and of itself. Alright, it's certain foods that if you want to make them hard, you have to cook them. Heat would make them hard. Other things, cold, would make them hard. You get what I'm saying? So for your heart to become hardened, it's a process. And most of the times, it doesn't happen in a day. It's a process. It happens slowly, gently, but surely. That thing that causes your heart to become hardened is sin. Okay, because what happens is, if you're resisting the word of the Most High, there is something else that you want to satisfy. You get it? If you're resisting the word of the Most High, that's because, and that is only because, there is something else, some other desire, some other person, some other goal that you want to achieve. There's something else that you want to satisfy, which would cause you to resist the word of the Most High. That thing that exists in your flesh or in yourself, which you choose to satisfy above the Most High, is an idol, and it's sin, and you must get rid of it. Okay? Because that's the thing that hardens you, and it always goes, it's a progressive occurrence. It's progressively hardening. You know what I mean? Just, again, example of water. The more it stays in the freezer, the harder it gets. Okay? It starts hardening gently, and then all of it becomes hard. It's the same way. Once you find yourself in a place where you are beginning to resist the word of the Most High, you need to snap out of it real quick. You need to realize that, hey, there is something in me that needs to be dealt with. And again, like I say, for most followers of Christ, disciples or Christians or whatever, it is not necessarily your whole life, because if your whole life is in resistance or rebellion to the Most High, then you're not really a follower of Christ. But you could come to Christ and find yourself still dealing with certain things, and find yourself still resisting the word of the Most High in certain areas of your life. It needs to be dealt with. Once you find yourself in that position, it tells you that there is some sin in your life that needs to be eradicated. It needs to be cut out. There is some influence in your life that's causing you to resist the Most High. There is some person in your life that is causing you to resist the Most High. There is some desire in your life that is causing you to resist the words of the Most High. It is causing you to harden your heart, and your heart slowly becomes like stone. It slowly gets you to the place where you become completely numb to the words of the Most High, to the commands of the Most High. Okay? It's a gradual and progressive process. And like I said, this is something you hear every day, but you need to, once you break this down and you meditate on it, you realize that, hey, there's actually more that goes into this statement than just the little, the normal everyday talk. If you hear the word of the Most High, harden not your heart. It's more, it's deeper than just hearing the word and saying, oh yeah, I agree with that. It's more than just saying I agree, that's true. It's more than just saying that. It's actually having to break it down and apply it to yourself and examine your life and say, hey, in every area of my life, am I in complete and total submission to the Spirit of the Most High, to the Word of the Most High? Is every area of my life an example of what Christ would be? This place that I'm going to and doing these things, would Christ go to these places and do these things? This way that I dress, Is it approved of the Most High? Does it show the godliness in you? There is the little things. There is the little things that we must adjust once we follow Christ. Alright, let's get Ephesians chapter 4 verse 17. It says, "This I say therefore, and testify in the Ephesians 4:17, sorry. "This I say therefore, and testify in the Most High, that you should no longer walk as the rest of the Gentiles walk, in the futility of their mind." In the futility of their mind. You see that? And then let's add to it. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life." You see what I mean? So if you allow your heart to become hardened, because the Bible tells you that your heart will become hardened by the deceitfulness of sin. Okay? It is by the deceitfulness of sin that you become hardened. Sin is deceitful. Okay? A little pleasure, a little indulging, a little going astray, and before you know it, you are as hard as stone, and you've been driven far away from the presence of the Most High, because that's what sin will do. It will separate you from the Most High. Alright? So you must not allow your heart to become hardened. You must not. Once you hear the word of the Most High, it must be applied to your life. Okay? Bible tells you it's not he that hears the law that's justified before the Most High, but actually he that does it. Again, do not be deceived. The Most High is not mocked. You will reap what you sow. Okay? And you can't do certain things and expect to just get away with it. You can't live as you please. Alright? So again, this is all about hearing the word of the Most High and not hardening your heart, which means being ready to obey, being ready to go and do as he says, without trying to make it fit your lifestyle or make it fit your circumstances. No, it has to be just submission, obedience, and compliance. Alright, and here's the thing, it's not about being a dictatorship. No, it's actually for your own good, because listen, and I've come to notice, which every follower of Christ should know, every single thing that the Most High commands you to do is not for his good, it's for your own good. Everything he commands you to abstain from, everything he commands you to practice, will in the long run help you both in this earth and hereafter. That is guaranteed. Okay, the commandments of the Most High are life and health. They're good and they're not burdensome, so says the Bible. They're not grievous, the commandments of the Most High. Okay, you only see them as burdensome, you only see them as grievous when you're selfish, when you still seek to live after the flesh. That's the only time when you regard the commandments of the Most High as burdensome or grievous. That is only when you still seek the glory of this earth, when you seek after the pleasures of this earth, when you begin to regret that, oh, you left your old ways and now you have to follow Christ, so you can't go clubbing, you can't go partying, you can't do some crazy stuff. When you start to regret those things, that is when you start to see the commands and the word of the Most High as some kind of a burden, or man, who can do all this stuff? It's too hard, there's just no way, I'm only human. You start making excuses. But when you live after the Spirit, I tell you, when you taste of the fullness of the Spirit, you begin to know, like, there's nothing in this earth. The word of the Most High is not difficult to keep. You will endure trials and temptations and persecutions and all that, yes, but you will have peace. And as the power of the Most High fills you, you will be enabled to overcome every single thing that's thrown at you. but you must abide in the word. You must be obedient. The Bible tells you that obedience is better than sacrifice. Obedience is much, by far, desired and demanded of you than sacrifice. Sacrifice without obedience is an abomination to the Most High. If you think that's not true, go back and look at what he told the Israelites each time they try to come sacrifice to him after they've been sinning and all that. It tells you your sacrifices, your Sabbaths and your new moons and all your feasts, they're an abomination to the Most High, because you're sinning while doing that. First you have to obey, and then you offer sacrifice. First you have to obey, and then you go out to do the work of the Most High. You cannot be trying or attempting to fulfill the work of the Most High when there's clearly a part of your life that you've been asked by the Most High to deal with, so that He can operate with you and in you, without any interference by sin, because that's what sin does. The Most High cannot dwell in a corrupted temple, which you are the temple. So if you harden your heart, again going back to the fact, if you hear the word of the Most High about anything and everything in your life, you have to receive it. You must not harden your heart. You must not resist or allow yourself to resist the Most High. So let this be, for those who didn't know it, a new piece of information. But if you've heard this before and you never really took time to think about it, let this be like a wake-up call to say, hey, let me examine my life. Is there any area in my life which I may be resisting the word of the Most High? Once you come to Christ, you can't just do things your way. It's not about you anymore. It's about Him. And that's the simple truth. It's easy to say it. It's easy to say, oh, my life is hid in Christ. Oh, I've been purchased with a price. It's easy to say that, but to live it out, now that's the big part. But it's possible. Okay, it's possible. Being led by the Spirit of the Most High, dwelling in His Word, it is possible to live like that. It is possible to live in complete submission to the Most High, obeying His Word and loving His Word. Actually, man, His Word is sweet. I haven't really, I don't know. His Word is sweet. Once you get to that place where your heart is right before the Most High, His Word is sweet. I don't really know how to tell you this, but His Word is delicious. Alright, and if you're not in that place where you love His Word so much that you can't get enough of it, you need to get there. I promise you, it is awesome. You need to get there. Alright, so I'm going to wrap this up here in about 20 minutes. So I'm going to make this short, just wrap it up, and I hope this helped. Hope it's a blessing to you, and feel free to share this with anyone that you think would need to hear it. And may the blessings of the Most High be upon you and your family. And until next time, my brother and my sister, love, peace, shalom.